Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your latest outlook updated on Friday the 22nd of May. As I'm sure you'll know, there's still some variations between access and travel to the mountains across the UK. Things are different in different parts of the country, so make sure you're up to speed with those and any changes that may come into force in the next week or so. We're here to have a look at the weather though, and it's a rather active weekend with a deep low pressure system in charge. That will move away and pressure will tend to build again into next week, although still some occasional weather fronts coming in off the Atlantic. Let's just run you quickly through the story then to tell you where things are going over the next week or so. And starting off with the present time, this is Friday evening, we've got that deep low which is off the northwest of Scotland, producing very wild conditions across the mountains today and tomorrow. Severe upland gales in place and some heavy prolonged rainfall focusing on western mountains in Scotland. Isobars stay closely packed together then through into Saturday daytime, so another windy day in place. That rain really relentless across the Western Highlands much of the daytime, so some very soggy conditions developing across western Scotland. Scattering of showers passing eastwards across England and Wales. Those will tend to fade away as pressure begins to build later from the southwest. Our driving low, which is to the north of Scotland, just pulls away a bit more towards Norway into Sunday. We've still got a trailing front producing low cloud and some rain and some drizzle across western hills, especially in Scotland. You can see it gradually fading out as time goes on. We might still be stuck with some low cloud though for much of the day across many western mountains, with the best of any cloud breaks further towards the east. Now onwards into the start of the new week, and high pressure begins to build further across the country, with still some fronts which are over the Atlantic grazing up the west coast of Ireland and into western Scotland during Monday daytime. A fairly humid atmosphere, so low cloud may well just be filled in across some of those western hills, particularly in Scotland, and lowering where some rain comes on with time. It's a similar story ongoing into the middle of the week. We get high pressure that stations itself across the southern half of Britain. The centre of the high is a bit to the southwest. Dregs of leftover fronts are still trailing through across the British Isles. Not much on them, but may just give zones of cloud and drizzly rain in places. Will vary a little bit from day to day through the middle of the week. It's just quite a humid, muggy atmosphere that's being drawn up from the subtropics into this area of high pressure from the southwest. So it could just clag in those western hills in some very low cloud in places across, let's say, Wales, around the Lake District, and possibly into Scotland. Just depends how far north those fronts get at that stage. Now the modelling here is showing bits and pieces of rain through the middle of the week. I don't think much of it amounts to that much in total, but as I said, could leave rather damp conditions with very low cloud in place across western hills. Now in that muggy atmosphere we might find one or two heavier bursts of rain locally as we head towards Thursday. Still got fairly high pressure, so it'll be very hit and miss in terms of where any showers break out. This modelling might be overdoing it a bit, but we need to bear it in mind nevertheless for the later part of the week across England and Wales, that one or two heavy showers may well be in the forecast if pressure just slackens off and allows the air to rise. Either way, it seems as though we've got a general southwesterly flow that prevails later in the week into Scotland, so it's still a similar sort of theme with bits of patchy rain maybe coming into the western mountains there. One or two residual showers for England and Wales possible, with very light winds. They'll move around very slowly, so if these do break out, they'll stick about for quite a length of time. And as we head to the end of the week, it looks as though low pressure over the Atlantic starts to come back in again. So we sort of go round in a complete circle to where we are now. Maybe not quite as deep as the low that we're seeing at the moment, but could bring some wind and some rain in off the Atlantic to Scotland and perhaps northwestern parts of England and Wales by next weekend. That's your general trend for the week, though. Hopefully that's been some interest to you. Thanks for watching today. Bye for now.